Rudy, a message to you, Rudy. A message to you, Rudy.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, part 4 of Project Giulia or Project WR. And we're not starting off on too light of a note, unfortunately. As you may remember, refitted new mirrors, and yeah, I don't think the bolts that are on the old mirrors are long enough for these ones. It seems to just come around. This one was held on with 3. It's this side that's only held on with 2, which, speaking of, let's go give it a wiggle. No, that thing's still on pretty good, to be fair. I'd probably check them anyway, but we was on our way to work this morning, and well, as you can imagine, you're going down the road, and then boom, this is flaying around. It's just to go down some 15 minutes on the way to work. Don't know where any of the screws are. I mean, look, it's still got all the rubber weather trim on the actual door itself. Good thing these things are electric as well, because if they were manual adjustable mirrors, then yeah, R5 in the morning trying to search for a broken wing mirror on a dark country road, yeah, definitely not ideal. As I said to Rhea earlier, it's always funny that when something's mechanically sound and kept on top of, it's always stupid, weird little issues that you have. Like on my WR, that plug coming undone under the fuel tank, it didn't come fully undone, so it still looked connected, but it was pulled apart enough to where it wasn't getting power and wasn't kicking in my fuel pump to start up my bike. And you know, installed wing mirrors, the one that had 3 screws, bolts, nuts, whatever you want to call them, holding it on, it's fallen off. It is what it is. But now we're on to some better news. We got a box of parts here. Now, of course, I have opened the stuff up to make sure it's all good. So let's show you what we got here. So we got some white spoke covers, which, oh no, actually this should be all right. Obviously, for the spokes on the wheels. Inside this, we have a brand new set of fork seals. We got new airbox, mainly because those ears on the top there are all mint. The tab around there has moved a little bit, but it still actually has the tab to put like the little rear mud flap bit on it, which I have on my original airbox. The original airbox has one of the tabs broken. I can't remember which one, but either way, I know you don't really see it, but I know it's broken and I don't want it to be broken. And we got OEM white washer bottle. Don't get me wrong, the black one does look more sleek, but I can't see my level, my coolant level, and that is important. And then we just got a couple little bits in here. It's cool, custom motocross Lego Man dust caps that I managed to find. You know me, I like my little touches. Nice brand new OEM Yamaha badge from my rear panel. Obviously, one that sits there. And then, because I can't find it, and I have an aftermarket oil cap, I had to get a new OEM dipstick. But of course, we had to go for the Yamalube one. I don't need it to sit in the engine all the time, but obviously once we put all the engine back in, we'll be doing the service and that on it, and we'll need to check oil levels. And I do have another one of these, I just don't know where I put it. Plus this one says Yamalube, so it's just cooler. Other than these 3 panels here, the 2 fork covers, and then I think this is like a little chain guard, not sprocket guard. All the other panels have been taken by my dad. As you can see, there's no panels down there. They've been taken by my dad to his work. He was at a crash damage place, and he's going to get one of the painters to paint up my panels for me. I will say, some of the already black ones will just be going a even nicer shiny gloss black, and all the blue ones will be going a pretty nice color, which will contrast sick with the frame. So yeah, that will definitely look good, and yeah, I'm sure you'll see the panels in this video. Well, no, actually, I'm sure we'll probably start putting the bike together at some point in this video. But of course, before that, we have to strip the rear swing arm and strip the forks. And speaking of the forks and the fork seals, and also my clutch, I rang up the motorcycle shop, and honestly, yeah, it's only like £6 an hour labor, and obviously I'll be taking the forks as the forks and the engine as just the engine unit, not a whole bike, with the fork seals and a new clutch. So yeah, can't complain at that. And he's saying hour to an hour and a half for the fork seals and 2 hours for the clutch. So that's about £30 worth of labor that I have to pay to have my bike freshened up. So I can't complain at that, really. So there is my airbox with the broken tab. I have to remove that mudguard there, put it on this one, and pretty sure this one is yeah, it doesn't have the long tube there, whatever. I have to move a couple hoses over, that's fine. And then as you can see, this does look very nice and sleek, and you do have that bit there, but like it's quite hard to see once all the bike panels and the rear under panels on. Whereas that, I can see exactly where it says low and full, how much I've got in there. Alright, well, he's already working on sorting it out. It's got fresh hardware, got longer hardware. Yeah, we'll catch up with this later and see if the hardware has done the job. Alright, so cleaned up the wash bowl and the airbox. Also got the mud flap on, but it's on there alright now, but I need to do a little bit of plastic weld on those tabs. Went to tighten it, and yeah, they broke. But we got the top from the airbox that came on my bike on this. It was less scuffed, plus my air filter because it was newer. Got some of the more nicer looking clamps from my other one as well, plus that little hose piece there just has a bit from the original still there. I'm weird like that. I like to keep whatever I can from the original. Seems these little bungs and that, I had to take those off the other airbox. But these are all cleaned up and ready to go on the bike. Well, almost. Got to try my hand a little bit of plastic welding down there. I've always wanted to give plastic welding a go, so perfect excuse for it now. Literally, airbox though with the little mudguard bit literally harkens back to what I was saying earlier about. It's always the stupidest little issues. Alright, so good news. We managed to find some longer hardware, and the mirror is back on, and also I've added these cool little stickers. It's been over 24 hours, it hasn't fallen off today, so fingers crossed that we don't need to mess around with it again. Alright, so we had a new part arrive today, brand new OEM clutch cable. Ordered a nice new EBC clutch, so that'll be here soon. Then it's just rear tire, clutch levers, gear lever, and a couple other little bits, and then that will be all the new parts stockpiled up, all ready to be teamed up with the existing parts and cleaned up with like the swing arm here, and then all put back in to this bad girl. So we'll pick this up when either more parts arrive or we start stripping down the rear swing arm and the forks. All right, so here we are, finally working on the bike again, getting into it already. It's the same day as Florence Spring, so yes, it is still my birthday as you're watching at least this part of the bike build. But let's set the tripod up and continue on stripping the forks and stripping the swing arm. Right, there we go. Forks and the clocks, bars, and everything all separated from the forks. Now onto the rear end. Swing arm taken apart, That bolt still being stubborn in there. We'll see if we can extract it. If we can, we'll be painting this. If not, then new swing arm, I guess. Got the rear wheel off as well, ready to be taken off. Have a new tyre on it. I have to get that ordered now. Got my coil over there. What do you think? Should I maybe try and find one on a later date that's a different color, or just keep the red one? Alright, so we got everything packed away back into the shed now, and we're all good to get the fork seals done on the forks. I know that'll be fine. I don't know how much of a pain in the ass that's gonna be to get out, so I might have to look at maybe getting a new rear swing arm. And since this swing arm's actually in good condition, just need to get that out. Maybe able to get one a bit cheaper if I send this one to them. A bit of money off, you know. And then of course once they extract that out, they can send it, get some money. Rear wheel ready to go get a new tire. Just gotta organize that crap, and that is it for today's activities with the bike. I'm not quite sure what will be next, to be honest, so let's just wait and see. Alright, I've just popped the box open. Got a few good, got some stickers hidden away. I'll show you those when they're on the bike, actually. That probably won't when you see them, but I will show you this. Nice new clean CNC Italy design oil cap. This looks nice, clean, to be fair. Now, in here should be what I've been waiting for. And it is. So we've got EBC clutch, we've got, of course, new gasket, got the EBC clutch springs, heavy duty. Nice. We've got a high flow Filtro Racing Premium oil filter. I do use the high flow filters on the bike. So a high flow air filter, I'm pretty sure I have on my bike right now. And some good old Castrol Power One Racing. Yeah, to be fair, you can't go wrong with Castrol. It's almost like a mini Christmas every time more parts rock up for the bike. Honestly, I love it. I love it. And there'll be more parts coming soon as well, which you guys will see. And yes, looking like I'm going to have to get myself a new rear swing arm. But thankfully, I found one that's a decent price and is in a better condition, pardon me, than my one is in. My one is still pretty good, but it's just a lot more scabby and a lot more surface rust than the one that doesn't have a stock bolt in it that I've looked at online. So, and if it doesn't come with a bolt, I found, obviously looked at swing arm bolts because I'd need a new one anyway, and they're decently priced as well. So in all fairness, WR parts secondhand are not badly priced. It's just, obviously, if you want to keep OEM factory fresh and go brand new, that's when you could get charged a bit. But I think that's the same with most bike manufacturers, to be fair. Alright, we've got some more deliveries. We've got some actual official Yamaha Yamalube coolants in blue. So I had pink liquid in there before, but now obviously I have the OEM clear res. Thought I'd go for the blue Yamalube, so it looks a bit more coherent with the color theme when you see it in there. Now these are what I'm very happy about. New front brake and clutch levers, which have WR125R on them. And the adjuster on my clutch is toast. So like this one, it's a bit difficult one-handed. That's how crisp that is. Also, you have the adjuster for your front brake as well. And then a nice new beefy, hopefully a lot harder to bend than the factory OEM gear shifter. I might keep it in the silver, to be honest. I quite like it. It looks just nice and clean. I couldn't find a decent looking black one, to be honest. It's just OEM ones. And obviously I didn't want to just order a random black one for it to not fit. So yeah, I could only find either OEM or silver ones, or silver and blue ones for the WR. But yeah, you know, it's clean, it's straight, and It's going to be a lot harder to bend than the crusty, slightly bent OEM one I've got on there now. Alright, well here's a little teaser of how the wheels are going to come out. Turns out I should have ordered 2 packs. Should have maybe counted how many spokes my bike actually had, but you can see we've got the white spoke covers on the front. We've done the tyre rating. There's no point doing the rear tyre rating, so I'm getting a new rear tyre. I've got the little Lego Man dust cap on that. I just got some paint on my phone. I have to re-go over that. Just done the top side. Yeah, this is looking pretty nice. Here's a look at the wheel in the daylight. Looks pretty good. Actually, I can't complain. I mean, some of the tyre rating didn't go too great. But you could only do what you can do. I think certain bits of the light blue may need a little go, like, you know, second coat or whatever, but it's not too bad. I think this is the more worse side, to be fair. But this side I did the white on it all and then did the colour on top. Didn't do it on the other side. The other side definitely needs a second going over. And I know, of course, I just need to kind of go around and try and pinch the spoke covers in as much as possible. The crossover points, yeah, it should start to look a little cluttered again, but it's what it is. It will start going back together soon. Got another piece arrived today for the nice little touches of bike. So you got a nice blue plastic one, but we got a nice CNC metal one to go here as on black with just a simple white writing. Now the blue is cool and OEM and has authentic Japanese kanji on it, but that does look cleaner. And when it's sat there under the frame, that will look nicer than that, because that just it won't match. See, it just doesn't quite work. Whereas the nice black with the brushed silver, yeah, smart, smooth touch. But in the grand scheme of things, when it's all together, it's little bits like that can tend to be a bit of an eyesore. Oh, you know, I like to throw in a little bonus clip. That's pretty nice Mark II Golf set. Some super touring car style wheels. It's quite nice, local. Alright, well here we go. Literally just unboxed it. We've got a new replacement swing arm. This one looking a lot nicer condition than what my one was in. So this one is it's a little touch up, to be fair. We'll see a bit of anti-rust to stop that getting any worse, and then some gloss black amrite will sort this out nicely. But obviously a bit more scarce on ordering the bike parts at the minute, because of course got to get Christmas presents ordered, but at least that's the major component done and out of the way. And actually wasn't too badly priced, to be fair. And I was getting quoted like people breaking down bikes privately a lot more for a lot worse looking ones than this. So definitely happy. And when I take this out to the shed, I'll show you the condition of my original one. And of course, the main reason, we have no stuck bolt there. Do have to get another one. I'll get new bushes and maybe new bearings as well. If you need bearings, I'll do full research on what you actually need in there, just so I know it's all fresh, brand new, ready to go. Alright, so it's a bit later on during the day. So here's the new one again. You can see the tag underneath. The zip ties holding the covers, which actually look pretty decent there. Is this the one that was on the bike, and this is the swing arm that was on the bike. So that one does have a bit of that there, but as you can see, the paint isn't quite looking like that. It doesn't have all the crud and stuff there as well. And also sprayed some Google. This must have been rattle canned over something, or just not treated too well. Sprayed some Google on to get sticker residue off, and that's what I did to the paint, so don't have to deal with that on there as well. And also got spare like chain runner thing as well, so that's quite good. that one's nicer nick than my one, then we'll keep that one on there. But yeah, definitely a noticeable difference, and yeah, we don't have to bother trying to get that bastard out and possibly destroying the bearings, because I believe press fit bearings in there. But yeah, this is just to confirm visually that they are exactly the same, and yeah, I'm not seeing that's in the same place. That's the exact same style. Ooh, that might need. Oh no, it feels like it has some rubber in there. It might need a new one. We'll find out. We'll double check. I'll see that one. That one's looking very crusty. Yeah, it might need another like inner sleeve bit. Well, I think the rubber itself there is fine. Or I think it's just a bit of grease left there actually. Might need a new bushing for the bottom of the shock. I'm thinking about getting a white shock though. Go find my one quick. So there's my one. It's still perfectly mint. Just use a bit of cleaning up on the shock body. Yeah, not really gonna paint it, just clean all the crud off it. Yeah, the red coral is nice, but it won't quite match. But then I might keep it because of course I'm gonna have a couple Yamalube stickers on it, as you do, and they tend to have a bit of red in it. And of course, I don't know, maybe at some point make it look a bit sportier. Do the brake calipers red. I won't go as far to put fake Brembo stickers on them. But I'm not sure. I'm debating whether to get the white set, shock and spring set that you can get for my bike, or just stick with the red. Alright, so here we are in the kitchen in 2025. I know we're here already, but we're back to ordering some parts. We're back to getting bits done. This is what we have. So of course I still needed to get fork oil. Already had fork seals, but then also within that I realized I didn't have a new set of these little clip things, so got those as well. Is the new stickers I've had made, of course, of the logo. And then we've got some sanding bits, so we can sand some of the little brackets and metal like rear under tray pieces, and get those sprayed up. I've ordered some satin black, so we've got some more bits is coming along. I've ordered a rear tire. Alright, so we are out here in the garden, actually in the shed properly for the first time this year. One, I haven't really had the need to do anything because I haven't had any spray paint or anything to be doing anything. Two, it's cold. Three, it is a motherfucker to get motivated to come out into a cold shed in cold damp weather when you got ADHD. But nevertheless, we're finally out here doing some organizing of the shed. We got quite a lot of bits pulled out, and I'm going to show you the bits I have lined up that I'm going to be sanding, doing the paint. You've already seen me do sanding on the frame, so you won't really see any more of that, but you'll see me paint some bits, and then see how that comes out. All right, so here we have everything lined up here that I want to be painting. I just want to do the bottom here, and maybe this bit, I'm not too sure. I mean, it's never gonna move from that. I don't know if it even is adjustable, but it's never gonna move from that ride height, because I like the height of it. So I may just paint the whole bottom bit there. The little bracket bits I'll do as well. I want to try and find a new sticker put on there though. I mean, that one's too far gone to bother covering up to save, but it's all sorts of little miscellaneous brackets, rear under tray piece. But the main one is the tank. I forgot the tank looked that bad. Of course, the tank's usually covered, so you'll notice it. But things like this around the rear foot brake and that. The radiator bracket there, quite noticeable. I'm doing a radiator cap. I'm not going to do the radiator end tanks. I think I'm just going to go for a new radiator. And to be fair, nice fresh new aluminum one. With the forks sat here. Now my dad actually will be taking these off. He has many friends in the biker community who will be able to do my forks as well. Also, do my rear tire. Looks like someone wanted to say hi and see what I was up to. My uncle's hooked me up with some toolage so I can, you know, do some more of this without having to need to borrow tools or have someone come around with tools. And me being me, I don't like using other people's tools, man. I let them use their tools. So he hooked me up with a nice little toolbox and tools. There is some paint in there as well, so I can clean this up as well, which I may chuck in the video, I may not. Here is the paint, satin black, and then we got etch primer. Of course, you already saw this stuff. And then we got sanding bits for the Dremel as well. That's still at the window, kind of waving. But yeah, the main reason I wanted to get into this as well, man, it's looking a bit disorganized and messy in there, and I need to take this chair out and give it a good wipe down. The winter hasn't been too kind to it. If I maybe used it, had the heater on, like heating it up, drying it out and shit, maybe we wouldn't have this. It's just on the top there. Like, I've checked down here. It's alright. I mean, the cushion, let's bang that through the washing machine. It's just a cushion cover, to be fair. If the cushion's done underneath, just get a new one. But I'm gonna clear the rubbish, reorganize a bit of this, and then organize a bit of this, and then I'm also gonna take the bracket off the bottom of the clocks and that here, because I want to freshen that up as well. Yeah, we'll see where the time goes. We're going out for dinner tonight, so I don't have all afternoon today, unfortunately. But the weather, as long as it's like this, then we'll be back out here tomorrow, and I'll probably set up a pasting table up there or something. Yeah, shove the old busted gazebo out the way, and the old computer chair the cats like to chill on in the summer out here. And then do a bit of sand in there, plus the wall socket is only right there then as well. So I know it doesn't look too much different, but all the rubbish is cleaning. More and more of the clutter on the table will disappear once this starts to become a bike again. Now, before the bike goes back together, I do want to get some black Brentford bars for it, just because I think it'd be easier to change all of this over whilst it's like this. New throttle cable, just because why not? We got a new clutch cable and stuff for it, so why not just put a new throttle cable on it now and not have the headache of it breaking on me later? Because I don't know if this has ever been replaced or not. It doesn't, you know, from what I can see of the cable, it doesn't look bad, but who knows what it's like all the way inside the casing. But that's all I really need for it to go back together. I do want a new radiator. The end tanks on this, like, I could sand them and paint them, but I just want a nice fresh new aluminum radiator. I'm gonna install the OEM factory rad cap though, because of course it has the factory Japanese writing on it. I'm gonna try and clean these up as well. These sit on the end of the the rear swing arm. These are your chain tensioner, effectively. You know, shifts the rear wheel back and forward. We got a few spare parts here. I may put off a sale, like no, that's the battery box. But I do have a spare air box, the coolant box there, and obviously that radiator still works perfectly fine. And other than the bolt being stuck in the other swing arm, you know, that is still actually a perfectly usable swing arm. So some of you may or may not know, but my bike is actually the R model with the supermoto conversion, and this bracket spacer is what makes it possible to not have to mess around changing all the forks and the front brakes, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, you people that have actually done the conversion yourself. You know, I bought mine pre-done, but the Don I bought the bike off, he wants me to send him a trace of this so he can get one made for his personal WR. Jordan with measurements. So yeah, I thought it was all one piece. Turns out it's not. May have to loosen that again slightly to line the bolt up through there, but it's all back to one piece now, so I don't lose anything. All right, so now with that done, we're gonna quickly pull this bracket off and then drain the very little fuel left in my fuel tank into that bucket there. Just because there's a spout, I don't have a funnel or anything. I could just dip that into, put it into a jerry can. Alright, so we got the speedo nut off, and of course that one fucking hex had to round on me for the cable for the wheel speed sensor. I'm pretty sure that's for, obviously, that's what gives you your speed readout on your speedo. But yeah, other than just taking that little bracket off, this is, I'll just have to take all the wire up now and have that moved out the way as best I can to spray around it. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, this is still gonna look nicer than it does right now. Alright, on to the last task of today, draining the fuel tank. Alright, that's the drain tank. It's not that much in there, actually. And there's baffles in there. I mean, it's maybe just me being a slightly smooth brain to fuel tanks on a motorcycle, but I didn't know WRs came with factory baffled fuel tanks. Obviously, I know it makes sense for motorcycles to have baffled fuel tanks, but naturally, I think that's for the more, you know, performance sports bikes that handle a lot more G-force in turns. But then again, you know, supermoto dirt bikes, they still see some lean time as well, to be fair, especially if it still had the off-road wheels and that, take it to a track, hit some berms and stuff. So it makes sense when you actually think about it. Just, of course, not something that crossed the mind before, but now you discover it's like, yeah, I can see why they did that. Alright, that is it for today. So we're gonna start putting everything back into the shed, organising it, maybe put that stuff more organised, ready to just tank out and start freshening up. Have that and the rear wheel just set in the door, ready to just open, grab takeaway for my dad to go and get done by his biker friend. Alright, that's the shed, just a quick organise for today. I'll go through it a lot better when I have more time, but that'll do for today. I've done the little bits I wanted to get done and still got a line, so yeah, got that, the rear wheel forks and the fork seal kit ready to go. We got the paint and primer down there ready to get started with all that stuff, with bits of the Dremel. So yeah, hopefully, as long as the weather's like this tomorrow, we'll be back out here and starting on freshening up those brackets and little bits. Alright, so it is the next day, it's Monday. You join me in the kitchen with this. The only thing that's been a real pain in the ass with the project, the swing arm bolt. Now, in a more ideal world, if it had snapped on the threads because that nut had seized on, may not have been so much of an issue extracting it, but because it snapped on the head of the rod, so this is one piece just with a nut and a washer to go on the threaded end, and that's what snapped. And yeah, it just did not want to move out of the swing arm. But we have the new swing arm, which my dad has been prepping for paint, so we'll get that painted up soon enough, and then we'll be able thanks to this, to put that back on to the frame. It has been raining, but it looks like according to the puddle there, it has stopped raining, so hopefully it stays like that. So then you can go outside and do some sanding and prepping on those bracketry bits and all that. Also, the rear tire should arrive today as well. All right, so we are outside. It is, yeah, it's cold, but at least it's not raining. Got the pacing table. I decided to set it up there just in case it decides to start raining again. That way I can just quickly get everything back into the shed and keep the pacing table dry. So obviously can't be having that getting wet. Just so any thin wood that will just rot. But nevertheless, we are out here. Gonna get set up and just start sanding stuff. I found the Dremel. I've located that in the shed, so let's just get on with it. My rear tire should be arriving, well, any moment whilst I'm doing this, to be fair. All right, so starting off with this bit, I'm just trying out the new Dremel bits. Not doing too bad, to be fair. I'm not gonna bore you with more sanding. You see me do that with the frame, but the indicators won't bolted. I might, I don't know if I should risk undoing these or just leaving it as is and taping it up and sanding and spraying these little bracket bits. But yeah, I ain't bothering with these little crusty bolts for the tail light. I just have to do the best I can around there. Plus the bodywork obscures this little bit above anyway, and the plate covers most of this, but I'll still do that bit all nice anyway. But it may not be perfect if you take it under a microscope, but at the end of the day, I don't want to risk it with these rusty little bolts and these rusty little studs, because it just means more time and more unnecessary effort. And yeah, I'd rather just tape it and go around it. Oh, also, the rear tire has just arrived. So that's already, I noticed that there's water dripping, so I had to cover up my forks a little bit there. But yeah, we're getting there. So I'm just gonna set the phone down, AirPods in, and then give you an update whenever I either get interrupted by a delivery or something. I will have delivery of some double cheeseburgers soon enough, to be fair, as well. So, but no, yeah, we'll see how far we got along with this in the next clip. All right, so I've just had my McDonald's delivery. This is where we're at. Done. Oh yeah, smooth down this side quite nicely. The sand a bit. Where's the Dremel? There it is. Sand a bit. Doing quite well, to be fair. Starting on the top here, working our way down. Whereas I was just doing the edges here. Yeah, not bad. And I've only flung one bit of the little sandpaper, one of these off. Only flung one of those off, and it was almost completely used up anyway. So I'm not doing too bad, considering it's not really my forte. Not something I've done a lot of, especially with this toolage. So making it work. And we've got the heater on, and it is a bit cold, so you know, I need to warm my hands up or just warm my body up and just stand in front of that for a couple minutes and continue. And also, surprise, the McDonald's Monster, I did have this done, I didn't open it yet, but that's the jet fuel right there. Alright, so it looks like the rain is starting to come down now, but we've sanded this tray off. We've got the best we can do with the Dremel on this bracket, and we've done the back of the mirrors. But yeah, I think it's time to pack this stuff away, and fingers crossed we're not raining tomorrow, so we can get more of this done. And I might even mask off the mirrors and just get those primered tomorrow as well. I was going to do it today, but whoever had other ideas. Alright, yep, that is it for today. We're all packed away now, and hopefully it's not raining for as long as it was today. Tomorrow at least, so we can get some more done, and yeah, get some primer on those mirrors and start priming a few bits as well. So until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so we're back. We're set up already. We're just gonna be starting off with this piece, the first one I grabbed today. Stage 1 of the sanding, then obviously everything I'll go over again with a fine-tooth comb, aka sand by hand. This one shouldn't need a lot though. I just mainly want to knock the surface or rust off of it, and it's quicker and easier to use the Dremel to deal with the surface rust. However, you can probably tell it's very light rain. So yeah, fuck it, we're just gonna crack on. To be fair, it's light, it's not instantly soaking anything, so hopefully it doesn't get any worse than this. Fingers crossed, and I can get some more done today. But the next clip, I should be done with this and on to the next part. So let's see how well this bit turns out and see what we start sanding next. Alright, this bit's super easy, just needs a quick little going over of hand to get the surface corrosion off. Just going to clear coat the bottom. I might try and hand sand it, but depending on how it goes, I might just clear coat the bottom because you don't see that once it's bolted down to the tank. But the top is the bit that you're most likely to see, especially when I like to give the bike a proper clean. I like to take the panels off and get the backside of the panels all clean as well, so at least the bit you see when the panels are off will be all nice. And then obviously just to rust prevention, clear coat the bottom, either sand, or if I can't quite sand them, then just treat the little spots of surface rust underneath. As you can see, I did try a little bit, but it's a bit awkward with the Dremel pieces. Maybe the smaller pieces be a bit better. I could try with the smaller pieces, go back over all the bits, but we're going with the big bit for now. But no, not too bad. And then guess I better go and pick what I'm sanding next. Alright, so this is the bracket we're going to be working on now. Just got to remove the ignition coil there, which thankfully these actually have some quite deep hexes in them, so these ones shouldn't strip. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Alright, there we go. Ignition coil off. Now I'm going to put that in the shed, and then we can start working on this bad boy and show you how it looks when I'm done with it. Alright, that is the ignition coil bracket done. Now we're going to move on to what's known as the dog bone. I mean, this goes somewhere between the engine and the swing arm, or the frame and the swing arm. That general area. It's a good thing I took reference pictures, because honestly, my autistic brain would be terrible remembering where something like that went. Alright, that's the dog bone. Done with the Dremel. Go back over there, the bolts. Now we're working on this one, and because of course these fucking hexes always round, this one no different. I have to work around the wire here, and it's not really that maneuverable in that part, so yeah, it's looking like I have to hand sand more into that bit, and but whatever, I'll figure it out. Alright, so that's that done with the Dremel. Now there's another little bracket that was bolted onto it that may as well do as well, so let's do it. Alright, that's the little bracket done. Now we're gonna get this bracket now sanded. I can't remember which one this is for. This isn't the radiator one. I think this is the one for the battery box. Right, that's this little bracket done. Now the kickstand, we've already got the spring and this little bracket off, and then just gonna unbolt the side stand switch there, and I think this will probably be the last for today. Alright, we got the main bulk of the side stand foot peg bracket piece done. Decided to unbolt the actual, oops, a little bit of rust that just went out, crud or whatever, but I decided to unbolt the actual stand itself, we got the kickstand sensor and everything all off, so can freshen it up nicely. But that is it for today. That is all I have time for. Now I have some house chores that I have to do tomorrow, like, you know, cleaning the room, rubbish, all that crap. But we don't have that much of the small bits left. It's only this and a couple of little bits, and then it's the top of the tank, and then we're done with sanding. We can do some final hand sanding on anything that may need it, and then get to masking and priming. So I'll see you guys once again tomorrow. All right, so we're back out here. We're out here. We've got a setup. It is dark. As I said, I had stuff to get done today, but I'm not gonna do any more sanding because it's now dark. But we've got set up. We've got light. We've got the patio heater there, and I think we're gonna do some final little bits of hand sand on some of the bits that are pretty much ready to be primed and prime them up. Well, we're gonna kick off the mirrors. Got some tape. We got some paper. Some bubble wrap and plastic. Bubble wrap has some moisture in it, so extra bit of plastic on top, just so it's not sat on any moisture. They're not sat on any moisture. Yeah, we just gotta tape them up and give them a spray. And also, before I do that, start spraying them, find something I can rest them on or in so they can dry. All right, we got the mirrors taped up, ready to prime. We got the primer ready to go, so let's get into it, and I'll show you how they look once they're primed. All right, that's the mirrors primed. May have laid it on slightly thick. I think this may have had a bit of moisture there in the corner, but it's fine. I'll give that another little touch up once it dried. I haven't used these cans before, that's why it may be a little thick on the back of that one. I've gotten used to the spray rate of this can now, so that's why I started off with something like this first. And if I completely screwed them up there, teeth to replace, and at least all the brackets in the tank will look good. Now I know what to expect with this primer can. Alright, so this is what I've ended up doing today. The mirrors, the top of the tank strap bracket, the top of the dog bone, and I hand sanded, masked up, and done the rad cap. That'll do for tonight. Left them while I was having dinner under the heater drying, so I'm gonna put this stuff away. Probably check it tomorrow before I have work, and give it a second coat if it needs it. If not, then we got the other side of the dog bone and that, and maybe lay some satin black down on the mirrors if and the plate or whatever, if any don't need any second coat. Alright, so we're back out here during the day, and well, the mirrors have actually come out good. The rad cap, the bracket here, the dog bone, I do need to do the underside and the sides off here, but this is looking good. I might, same again, I might just leave the bottom, clear coat that. Yeah, it's not that important. You never really see that, and it's, yeah, it's got a bit of, you know, surface corrosion on it, but it's not rusty and, you know, going flimsy because it's actively rate reducing itself. And I guess just that little bit the primer didn't like to sit, but I guess we'll just have to clean those little bits up, and then hopefully the primer sits. All that really needs is a touch up, not a full prime, so I don't want to give that a full coat. I think, yeah, one of the mirrors has a little touch, yeah, just a little touch up there, but in terms of the rad cap and that there, and the painted part of the dog bone, they all look perfect, ready for paint. So I may just get a cotton bud, spray a bit of the primer into old lid, and just touch up, obviously clean, you know, double triple check there's no contaminants on these bits, and then give them a touch up with the primer. But as for the rad cap, I may spray that, and of course I'll get the this side of the dog bone covered. And then we have, when that's all drying, these three last bits to do the sanding on the Dremel before getting onto the fuel tank, and then we'll see what we have time to continue on with doing today. I have work later. Can't be asked with work, to be honest. One of those, isn't it? But you gotta do what you gotta do, and I got earn the money to be able to buy all the bits to put this bike back together. So, right, I've had the tunes playing. I've just been getting to work out here. We've got the rest of the kickstand there. Well, the foot peg plate and foot peg, the kickstand, and the spring sanded down. We've started on the top half of the tank. We've also taken these brackets off. We're gonna give the top of this bracket a going over, so when you see it sprouting out the back of the tank, that looks all nice as well. And then discovered these all on the tank. Forgot, I obviously knew about the top one, but didn't notice the ones on the side. But the adhesive actually come off quite nice, but I will have to get some adhesive or just spray adhesive and slap them on when the tank's all freshened up. But yeah, man, we're getting to work. And we've managed to get the mirrors, the top of that bracket, and the rad cap painted. We've primed, we did the cotton bud trick and primed the sides of the dog bone, and then did the top, or the bottom, whichever side. The side that I hadn't done yet, you see the mirrors. I let the little touch up, the tiny little touch up bits dry, and then gave them a spray whilst I was doing the dog bone, and then painting the bracket and cap. But yeah, it's coming together good. Quite happy with the satin black, and popped to the shop, grabbing me some clear coat so I can for like the rad cap and stuff, the things that will see a lot of touching and potential rocks bouncing off, will have just that little bit of extra protection with the paint. It's coming together. I know this part of the video is just like a load of clips and little updates and that, but this is part of the building. You've seen me sanding before. How many little bits and pieces do people really want to see me sand? I sanded the biggest part of the bike, the frame. So but we're getting there. We're almost there. And we're gonna crack on with this tomorrow. I got work tomorrow again, but I don't start as early, so I'll have more time at least. So let's pack things up, go chill, and then work, sleep, wake up, and get back to this tomorrow. Alright, so we're back another day, and we have a visitor today, my old man. The weather being nice and dry today, decided to bring out his Midnight Purple 2 XJR 1300 with its new LED rear tail light and number plate that I hooked him up with, and it's the first time I've actually seen it on the bike. It looks fucking nice. Yeah, so I hooked the old man up with that smoked LED tail light and the show plate with, of course, his/our little company branding on the bottom, DBD Autos. Once the Facebook page and all that is up, it may even be up before this video is out, so you'll find it in the link below. If not, then just keep an eye out on my socials and future videos, because you'll find it down in those if it isn't all up and running by the time this video is out, which it most likely will, to be fair. We're just getting everything set up outside. We've got the table set up, I'm about to pull things out, get the dog bone out, and it may need a little scuff, may need a little touch up, just get it back smooth and then paint. But yeah, we'll see how it looks, and where it's not something that's in your face, I don't care too much about it looking absolutely mirror smooth, baby's skin smooth. As long as it looks good, that's the main thing. Right, here we are. I've been cranking away. So we've got the first layer of primer on the top of the tank, of course. Obviously sanded it. We've got the spring for the kickstand there with a little coat of primer on it. We've got some other bits over here. We've done the actual, well, front half of the kickstand stand itself. We've got a little bracket from the tank strap that was still bolted to the tank. Remove those. We have the mirrors are now clear coated along with the rad cap. Of course, these, well, that will get removed and obviously handled often. And then, of course, they do see some road beating. The dog bone is now painted. It's drying, well, drying on the other side. And then we have the under tray of its first coat of primer. And then, of course, we clean up the bits where it didn't quite react too well. I knew it would be the case with this piece. It was pretty crusty, pretty bad, but we gotta do what you gotta do, and it's the only way, trial and error. But we're getting it done, and other than that, I think this is pretty much all gonna get done today. I may take the tape off the rad cap and the mirrors and show you guys how they come out. All right, here we are. We got the tape off. So of course, the main little badge in the middle still has its scratches and that, but the rest of the cap looks pretty decent, to be fair. And it is just a rad cap. It doesn't need to be perfect. And the mirrors, far from perfect, but far better than they were. And as for these little bits, I'll do the same trick I did with the cotton bud to touch up with like the primer pieces on the edge of one of them, and just with some paint, any bare metal bits, primer, and then any of the sanded black bits, they'll go over with the satin. All right, so it's looking like that's gonna be it for me today. Just gonna let the stuff dry a little bit before I move and risk touching any of it, putting it all away in the shed safely, and plus sit under the heater and have a cigarette and let my hands in that warm up for a minute as well. But that's it for today. Let's continue and see how much and what we get done before I have work once again tomorrow. All right, so we're back. It's deceiving weather today. It looks all very nice, but if anything, it's colder than the days I was in the back garden. We will be doing some more in the back garden before work, not a whole lot, but doing some Honda bits today. I'm sure you'd have probably already seen the engine bay of the hood popped at Jackme, but nevertheless, this is the work getting done. So what's going on? We're dressing up the engine bay a little bit with the pink silicone hose kit. The old man has already gotten on the way getting the old hoses off. I'm just doing the more easier, accessible ones for now, since we can't really have the car off the ground too well. But nevertheless, we're gonna make it look nicer in there. First mods of 2025. All right, first one's in, on with the rest. Hoses are on. Now it's time to top the coolant back up. Car's back on the ground. Hoses are looking nice. Radiator's all filled up again. Just waiting for it to get up to temp so we can bleed it, make sure there's no air in the system. Of course, it's a cold day, so this may take a little while. Alright, the old man's just whipping the sieve around the block to get some heat to well, we're gonna show off this new set of wheels. 03 A4 18T Quattro manual, full Mandem spec, black leather on the black exterior, on the black wheels, with of course the tinted wind deflectors. It doesn't look half bad, to be fair. I do quite like the kit on this. Kind of gives it the ABT look. Alright, so now I'm out here in the back garden. Gonna do some more priming. The rear panel, some bits didn't react too well. Also got to do bit more primer on that. Top of the tank though is done pretty well, so I think I'll give that a coat of paint. We've got a primer, the bottom side or back side of kickstand, back side of a couple brackets, and then now the dog bone's all painted up, so that's gonna get clear coated. So I've taped up to just get the bolt ends looking nice. I haven't given them a crazy sand. I'm just gonna give them a little shoot of paint and then a little shoot of clear coat so the paint doesn't come off the first time we put the bolts back on, at least. So then they'll be all cleaned up, and I'll do that with any other bolts that I want cleaned up, because you don't need the hardware sticking out like a sore thumb. All right, so we're here with the rear panel. This bit, it's not gonna look perfect, but this is just pretty much how I've been priming, just misting, letting it get on the, getting the own lid there. Now, I am far from professional when it comes to doing this stuff, but I'm not afraid to get it done. Let's make sure we got that ridge there. I may be nailing it on a bit too thick, but it's doing the job. It's coming out how I want it to come out, so I can't complain. I'm sure if there's better ways for me to do this, feel free to let me know in the comments, but that's just how I'm doing it so far. All right, I'm about to paint the top side of the tank, so we'll probably just time-lapse that bit, but yeah, we're getting there. We're cracking on. So there we are. I'm gonna just move that to the side, let it paint off. So did one of the bolts for the dog bone already. We'll see how this turns out. There's a slight little puddle there. I won't deal with that. But other than that, the rest of it looks like got a good coat, to be fair. Of course, feel free to give me that constructive criticism of what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, but so far, so good. All right, so we're back. It's the next day. The sun is out once again. It's warmer, still not exactly warm, but the weather looks nice. The roads are dry, which means what's left of the priming, painting, and clear coating should dry pretty quick. But I forgot to pick the camera back up yesterday. I was just on a mission. So this is what we got: dog bone, clear coated, tank, painted, dried, clear coated. We got one of the dog bone bolts, heads all cleaned up. Just got the second one to go. All of the parts on the back bench have either got their first coat of paint or are fully primed. The stand, this just needs clear coat. This just needs the bottom painted. Same as the spring, I think, just needs a little touch up of paint. This I need to tape off the sides, because in my haste I forgot to prime the bottom side, so I need to tape off the sides and get some tape in that little hole there, and then prime the bottom side. And then this stuff is all primed both sides, so it's just check them over, make sure they're ready. This just needs coat of paint on that side, and then these just need going over, and then first coat of paint on, we'll see, one side, and then wait for it to dry, flip it over, coat of paint on the other side. All right, like yesterday, I'm just gonna get going, get into it, see how much I can get done. May be able to get it all at least done to where most of it will just need clear coating tomorrow, but either way, we're just gonna crack on, get going, and hopefully I remember to pick up the camera at least when I'm done for today, if not before then. All right, so we're pretty much done for today. We've got the tank finished off, with the clear coat dry, and we used some spray adhesive to get the protective rubber pads back on, and needs a little more cleaning up around the edge, but I used the cotton bud and some of the black spray paint and dabbed it on so it's black on the indentations for the little triangle and the lift sign there. I know It looks like it's on backwards, but that is actually the way it's supposed to go on the bike. But it's just little touches I like to do like that, and I just sort of thought, yeah, why not? Why not? But the tanks come out looking pretty good. We've got everything up here painted, and then we've even got to work and painted all the heads of the bolts there, and then the heads for the swing arm bolt. I think there was still a bit of contaminant on it. I can see where the paint hasn't done too well. Where the just bolts are just, you know, scuff them, paint them, and clear coat them depending on where they sit or how much torque will have to be put through them whilst tightening them on to the bike. But so far, so pardon me, drinking a Monster. So far, so good. So that's almost all of this completely done. We'll get to clear coating tomorrow. Right, so once again, it's time for me to pack all this stuff away. And once again, it's time to throw it to next day, where it's a split second for you. And it's a whole evening for me. But no work for me tonight or tomorrow. But tomorrow is jack meet. So obviously I will want to get some of it. It's mainly clear coat I need to get done. So as soon as I get the clear coat done, which shouldn't take me too long, I can chill and then go and enjoy jack meet. There should have been some pretty awesome cars there, as you may have seen already. But I know this video is a bit long. It's not the most entertaining, but this is part of the bike build, and effectively I want to get everything done with this video, so when we start the next video, it is starting to put the bike back together. All right, so we are back out here. It is the day before jack meet, and we got all the bits lined up here. All right, so we got all the bits here. Everything's just waiting clear coat. These few bits are just waiting clear coat for the back sides, and I just have these two nut heads, bolt heads that I have to scuff and shoot in the satin black. And then all the other ones have dried out. Just got to, pardon me, unmask them, of course, on the Monster again today. Yeah, we got a couple hours before we got to chill and then head off to jack meet. But where it's only a bit of clear coating today, I didn't need as much time to get it done, so we're just going to get into it. Alright, so that is everything clear coated, dried. We got that bracket back on the bottom of the tank. As you can see, we've put this little bracket back on, and we're on the bungs. Yeah, that's all done. Got the bungs back in there. Put the bolts in the holes. Now we've got the whole kickstand and everything all back together. Initial coil back on its bracket. In terms of working on the bike, this will be the last clip. The video isn't quite over yet. So once my new handlebars, my throttle cable, and I get my rear wheel back with a new tire, and I've clear coated the spokes, I finished the last couple little bits I need to sand and paint that are a bit bigger and easier to just do without all the other bits being in the way. And obviously I have my forks back with the fork seals done, and hopefully the forks themselves cleaned up a little bit as well. And then that will be the end of this video, and in the next one we'll finally be getting to putting it all together. But yeah, this one's been a long one. It's been a grind, the whole process with doing this bike, but it's definitely going to be worth it. All right, so you join me on a darkening evening, and we'll finally have all parts painted up. Just got one bit drying right now with clear coat. I'll show you that, and then I think that will probably be it. I have the forks and the rear wheel away to have the new tire and the fork seals done. In other news, I've cleaned up the rear shock. We've done the indicator brackets, and hanging down here we have, drying with its clear coat, the rear brake lever and other foot peg. Alright, so that is it. We have reached the end of the video finally. I know it's been a bit of a long one, there's a bit of grind at the end. Not the most entertaining, but this is all part of the bike build. Appreciate everyone who watched it all the way to the end. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, hit that like button, comment what you think about my work with the paint, and obviously when it comes time to clean things up and do some things better, give me some advice in the comments. Stay tuned, we still have the final part of Best of 2024 to come out, and then of course the car meet season will be starting back up, so we have a lot more in store for that and see what we are able to get to. But until the next one, have a good one. Peace.